Are your chord progressions not making sense? Chances are you're face to face with a borrowed chord. Today, I'll take a closer look at borrowed chords and open up some new doors for your guitar playing. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome, friends, to this episode of the Play Guitar Podcast. I am Lee, and this is the podcast that's determined to make you a better guitar player. No matter if you're just starting out or you've been playing for years, this is the show that will help you become the guitarist that you always wanted to be. If you are new here, make sure that you subscribe to the podcast and check out the description for all of the links from the show. Welcome. I just want to mention before we get started, you can still get my Black Friday deal this week. I've already announced a special offer 2 weeks. It's my chord elevation toolkit. Started out as a mini course, but there's a lot of stuff in it. Can't call it a mini course anymore. And the core of this is my chord embellishment training that I've been doing for my students as long as I can remember. This is where I go through each string of open position chords and show you how to add embellishments on each string. You can make them sparkle, shine, and add interest to your plain old chords. If you've ever heard a player play a chord progression and had those cool single lines running through it, or if you've ever had to make these long, say you've got to play the same chord for 4-6 measures, how to make it sound fun and interesting, this is how you do it. I go through the whole thing, and then you've got some great examples that show you how to use all this stuff in your own playing. It is awesome. I've taught it so many times, and it always works, and it takes your playing up to the next level. I've also got a lot of other stuff in there. I've got a lot of bonus content that's related to this. So you get my double stop embellishment training, chord symbols demystified training, my smoother chord switching training, and the basics of my chord and scale system, all together with some backing tracks. It is awesome, and I'm excited for you to get it for this Black Friday over Cyber Monday special just for this week. It was originally $49.95, but I want everyone who listens to me to be able to do this, to show off and make me look good if you can sound great, right? So you can grab this today for $7. Packed out. I was going to say even $7, but that's an odd number. $7 just packed out. Head over to playguitaracademy.com/chord elevation toolkit. Okay, let's get started with this. This is a really, really fun, really interesting episode. If you like getting into chords, if you like songwriting, if you're a lead guitar player and you're struggling over playing over some chords, you can't figure out why what you're playing doesn't work over them, this one is for you. Sometimes you find something that sounds cool, but you can't explain why it sounds cool. You might know the chords that work together well on your guitar. You might know your diatonic chords. If you know them, you can write songs. You have a wealth of information with that. That's your chord family. These chords from the diatonic, all from the scale, they always work together. But then when you start learning songs, you jump into the real world. You quickly find out that not all songs stick religiously to diatonic chords. You start finding chords that sound really cool, but if you're trying to sing over it, create a melody over them, play a guitar lead over them, you find that your scales that you normally would use, they don't work at all over that one chord. What do? What most people do is they avoid it. as much as possible. Just don't play anything over it. Just wait till it's over, right? But chances are there's a reason that this chord sounds great. And most likely it's a borrowed chord. So we're going to talk about that. What does a borrowed chord mean? Well, just like in blues, just like in funk music, we've gotten used to hearing music that doesn't really strictly adhere to theory, doesn't adhere to the rules. The most common type of borrowed chords, those are from parallel major and minor scales. Parallel. Now, most people just jump right to relative. They think, okay, relative major and minor. That'd be like C major and A minor. They share the same notes. We talk about that all the time. That's not this. This is different. This is C major and C minor running together at the same time. These two don't share the same notes. In fact, C major has no sharps or flats if it's the white keys on the piano, but C minor has 3. It shares the same scale as E flat major, right? So these two shouldn't work together. They should not sound good. They're in 2 different unrelated keys. But like I've said, we've grown accustomed to this sound. And if we like it, we're going to like it no matter what. It sounds good to us. So today, I'm just going to sit here with my guitar. I'm going to play through them so you can hear firsthand what the differences are when we substitute chords, borrow chords from the parallel major and minor. And it's going to be awesome. And hopefully the next time that you're playing guitar, you can experiment with these chords and you can come up with the best song that was ever written. I would have helped you a little bit with that. What we have here is C major, and we've got some chords that are built off of each degree of the scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. And we build a chord from each of those. And how you build the chords, you skip every other note and come up with your chord tones using that scale pattern. There's the 2 chord, 3 chord, and so on and so on. So what do we have? We've got C major 7. That's our 1 chord. D minor 7's the 2. E minor 7's the 3. F major 7's 4. G7 is 5. A minor 7 is 6. B half diminished, minor 7 flat 5 is the 7th. And then back to C major 7. So you could pick any of those chords in C major and go back and forth and write a song. They all work together. Why? Because they come from the same scale. Let's take a look at minor now. So in minor, C minor, the notes are C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C. And we would build our chords from there, just like we did before. And what they come out to be is C minor 7 is the 1 chord. D half diminished, D minor 7 flat 5 is the 2 chord. Cool sound, right? E flat major 7 is the 3 chord. F minor 7 is the 4 chord. G minor 7 is the 5 chord. A flat major 7 is the 6th chord. And B flat dominant 7 is the 7th chord back to 1 there. I'm going to start with the 1 chord and then go to another chord in that we can use for the chord progressions. So I'll go from the 1 chord to the 2 chord first, right? That's in major. And what I'm going to do is, instead of doing that, I'm going to borrow the 2 chord from the other one. This would be from the minor. So what's the 2 chord in the minor? It is D minor 7 flat 5, half diminished, right? So normally in major would sound like this, 1 to 2. Now it sounds like this if I borrow. Hear that note right there? It's a really pretty sound. So here's normal. And here's borrowed. I think that's fantastic. I think it's a very pretty chord. What would I do if I had to play a guitar solo over it? I would have to switch. I'd have to switch over. I'd go from C major scale to C minor, just over that 1 chord. Let's try the 3 chords. So here's our 1 chord. E minor 7 is our 3 chord in the key of C. So C major 7. But in minor, if I was to swap out that 3 chord, it's E flat major 7th. That. Let's hear what it sounds like. How pretty is that? How cool is that? Songwriting ideas for days, right? Let's see if what we can do is we can go from the 1 chord to the 3 chord and then borrow after that. So here's the regular 1 and the regular 3. Now the borrowed 3. That's a cool sound too. What a neat sound. Where's it going to go next? Okay, so let's do the 4 chord. So this is going to be C major 7 to F major 7. That's right from the major right there. But in minor, that F major 7 is F minor 7th. So here we go. Borrowed. Wow, that's a neat sound. Let's see if we can do what we did before. We go to 1, to 4, to the borrowed 4. You hear that a lot in rock music with just triads, right? So there would be a, not using 7th chords, the F to the F minor, right? Same idea, just using triads here. Let's do the 5 chord. So that's 1 C major 7 to 5 G dominant 7. Well, in minor, if we were to borrow that, that wouldn't be dominant. That would be a minor 7th, that G. So let's see here. Major 7. Ooh, pretty neat. I like that. I like the way that sounds there too. Okay, let's keep going on. Let's go to the 6th. So that'd be an A minor 7th in regular C. 10 million songs, right? Well, the 6th in minor, if we were to swap that out for the minor chord, that is an A flat major 7. This is this chord. Ooh, right? So, sound like Jeff Goldblum. Ooh, ah. I think that's awesome. Let's see if we can do all 3 of those chords. So we have C to A minor 7 to A flat major 7. That's neat too. And let's do the 7th. This would be half diminished. All right. So we have a B. So boom, boom. This is in regular major. Let's swap it out. So in the minor, that 7th is a B flat 7th, not a B half diminished. So let's go to C major. Pretty cool. A little bit funkier sound in there too. So that's major. That I went through each one of the chords in major and swapped it out with its companion in the parallel C minor. So let's go ahead and flip it now. Now we're in minor. Ooh. Jeff Goldblum. Ooh, ah, minor, yeah. So now we have C minor 7, and the 2 chord in minor is half diminished. Nice sound, right? Let's swap that one out. So the one in major is D minor 7. So yeah, pretty neat, pretty neat. Let's go to the 3rd now. So C minor 7. The 3rd in this key is E flat major 7. It's 1, 3. What's the 3 in major? E minor 7th, not E flat. So we're going to go up a half step there. So we have minor 7th. Yeah, I don't like that so much, the borrowed from the major on that one, but it did sound okay going back into the minor again. Let's go to the 4 chord now. This is interesting. So here we have C minor 7th, and then we're going to go to the F minor 7th. So this is like Thrill Is Gone, any kind of a minor blues. You hear this all the time. Well, what if we swap that out? What if we went to the 4 chord in major, which would be F major 7th? So I think that's kind of nice. It's a nice sound there. Let's go to the 5 chord. This is our minor 1 chord, and then our 5 chord is also minor. So it's C minor 7 to G minor 7. Very sad sounding. Now this is the most common borrowed chord that I've come across, is when you're in a C minor, some sort of a minor key, but you need your 5 chord, you borrow it from the major and make it dominant. Oh, you've heard that before, right? A lot of Latin music will do this. A lot of blues, minor blues will do that as well. You have to reflect that in your playing, right? That note right there, you got to get that, what is that, the B. You got to put that in there in your lead, right? And then let's see here, let's do the 6th. Okay, so in minor, we have C minor 7th, and then the 6th is A flat, major 7th, okay. Let's swap it out. So it would go to A minor, not A flat, major 7th. So here it will be. That's a cool sound. Not a real drastic change. And let's go back to the regular and then back to the 1. Awesome, we got 1 left. This is the 7th. So C minor 7th here. And normally the 7th would be B flat dominant. But what we're going to do is we're going to switch that. We're going to switch that to our regular major on the 7th, which would be the B half diminished. Don't like that one. So what'd you all think about that? Did you hear some cool chord progressions in there? I love stuff like this. I just couldn't wait to write a new song using some of these ideas, or to play a guitar lead over top of them. So if I could change my guitar lead to match these, then it might sound just as cool as the chord progression did. These are great tools for songwriters. And it's also, the more you know about this, the more that when you're learning songs and you come across them, you'll be able to navigate these things with confidence instead of just avoiding them, which is what most people do. Nothing I play works over that chord. I don't know why. Check it out. It's probably borrowed from the parallel minor to major. Don't forget, we're ending the Cyber Monday thing here. I guess we're headed towards Christmas. But the $7 chord elevation toolkit is available for you. It's over at playguitaracademy.com/chord elevation toolkit. You can also click the link in the description. And I'm going to call it. That's a wrap. Thanks for joining me today for the Play Guitar Podcast. Make sure to hit the button below to subscribe to the show. And if you've benefited from this podcast, please leave a favorable Apple Podcasts, iTunes review. It's the best way to make sure we get this very valuable content to more guitar players around the world. And if more help, structure, and results in your guitar playing sounds good to you, what are you waiting for? Hey, I'm over there. Join me over at Play Guitar Academy. It's the world's most exciting and carefully planned guitar system. And together, we will build your online home base for guitar. Thanks again. I had fun hanging out with you today, and I'll see you next time.